that day for me was informative in ways that I did not anticipate. I'm glad I went because it opened my eyes to so many things. What's up guys, I'm Chez and this is Chez M0i. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a brand new video where I take you out and about in London. So last week I went to an exhibition. It was the Clean Beauty trade exhibition, which I believe was the first time that they've done anything like this. Now I'm going to plead my ignorance here guys. I had no idea about clean beauty, didn't know it was a thing, didn't know it was a concept. The only reason I went to this event is because I was scrolling on Instagram last month and it came up as an ad in my feed. So I thought, oh, this looks interesting. What's this about? Clean beauty, never heard about this before. I've had this idea bouncing around for the last few years to do with skincare. It hasn't come to fruition yet, obviously. It's always just been in my head. But I have no knowledge of, well, prior to this event, I had no knowledge of how to even get into that market. One of my friends, you've seen her on a couple of my videos before, she's actually a skincare formulator. So when I registered, I thought, let me see if Gina wants to go. I'm sure she'll find this interesting. So we both went last Wednesday. And the event was held at the brewery in Chiswell Street in the city of London. So what follows next is just a short clip of our day there. After the clip, I'll come back with my thoughts and observations. Yeah, that's really good. What does it smell like?
It smells really nice. It smells like pine. Does it have pine?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to try?
Yeah.
And this one is the apricot one for the blow.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to try it?
I will show you.
Yeah.
It seems like an emulsion, but it's not an emulsion. It's a macro emulsion.
Okay.
And you do the emulsion in your skin.
Okay. Right. I'll do that in a second. Okay, look at that, guys.
Maybe like white label. So if you wanted to put a label on those
May I have your
products.
business card?
That's really nice. It's really absorbed so quickly. You can see the sheen there. Oh, wow. Okay.
So you have your clean formulation.
We have our clean formulation and we are so happy about it because also thanks to their raw material suppliers, we really now are able to really have clean products but with super performance. Okay. And we have the entire range. We don't do powders or pencils. Okay. We have all the emulsions and liquids and the anhydrous, so the sticks.
So with the sticks, what do you use for your colour? Do you use mica or what do you use?
No, we because for the clean we don't use mica, and so we use minerals and oxidants. Then we have the choice also for in order to reach the red to use like the carbinium, but it is not vegan. But we have the alternative. Of course, if you want 100% product that follows the clean and that doesn't contain like lates or dyes, you have a very not a so wide range of product of colors. But if you let's say
If you just add a little bit, then you
exactly
can get
it is still clean. Maybe the percentage of naturality is 90, 95, 100. But with some colors we can reach also like almost 100.
Okay. So you have a wide range of colours?
Yeah. And what about you?
In regards to clean beauty and how do we better our practices, create better brands, source better ingredients. So again, so thrilled to be here. And I should introduce myself. I am a product development consultant, and I work with a lot of regenerative beauty brands. In the next few slides, I'm going to walk you through what regenerative beauty means to me and what I've done, a little bit about me and my background, and we're going to explore how to create a regenerative beauty brand.
Technology was?
Good question. Yeah, so they hired a stem cell holistic scientist that's working for their team, and they are using stem cells from fat.
Okay.
Yes.
My real question is it embryonic? That's what I want to know.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I can find out for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. The second question was with regard to your when you were talking about the green technology, and you said that you were producing makeup for kids.
Yes.
I just wanted to know what the age range was, purely because my 19-year-old didn't express an interest in makeup until she was around 15, 16. So I wanted to know who you were, what age group you were aiming for kids.
Thank you for asking, and I hope maybe you guys can give maybe my case study for this. So my client came to me and she wanted, her daughter is 4 years old, so they're very young, so they love play makeup. They want to, it's more like face paint, they want to apply it everywhere, and she was horrified when her daughter wanted to ask for makeup because she didn't trust most of the products out there. She said, I can't give you my makeup because it's got so many ingredients, it's good for their sensitive skin. So we're looking at creating something that is fun, very simple. I'm actually working in terms of like the pressing of the powders, so you're not really getting a lot of colors. So it's more like visually fun for them.
Right.
But they're not going to put it everywhere.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's an interesting point. She's done a case study of about 500 women that had kids. So we asked a lot of questions. Because we don't want to be that brand that sends the wrong message. Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
So, no, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. Thank you.
If you guys have any feedback on that, I would love to know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So guys, as you can see, it was quite, it was a different day. What I love about London is that we have great venues for events such as this. This event was free. I was a bit dubious when I registered because I thought, they haven't asked me for any credit or debit card details. Is it free? Even Gina was saying to me, are you sure it's free? I'm like, well, they haven't asked me for anything. So yeah, it was a free event and we got some good stuff. Basically, I picked up 3 bags. These were being given away. So this first bag, I actually gave this to my mum. It's a canvas bag. It's like a shopping bag. And it says less is more. I thought my mum would like this, so I gave this one to her. Very strong. They feel like good quality bags. Right, the next one I picked up, which is quite a big bag. It's like a tote. It's got the Clean Beauty logo here on one side, and another, not sure what that is to do with, but it's got some other branding on the back. And it's like a the handles, we tried to work out what the handles were like, what, you know, because we were carrying them as a tote, but you can actually use it as a rucksack. So you got the two handles here, which will come in very handy. So that's a good bag, very good quality, I have to say. And then finally I picked up this, it looks like a wash bag. You can use it for makeup bag, I guess. No branding on the back, just at the front. And this company, I think when we spoke to the exhibitors, they said they've been around for a year, but they've only started trading in the last 3 months. We kind of told them we weren't keen on the name Elf, because it's like, yeah, what does it mean? So one of them agreed with us, one of them didn't. Those are 3 bags that I picked up. I also picked up a couple of magazines, trade magazines they are, very glossy. This one is called Export magazine, and I'll put a screen record of the things that I'd seen in there. You know, you can see very glitzy, very glossy. It's more, I would say it's more European, like continental information in here. Companies that you wouldn't see in Britain. And again, this one is also Export magazine. I don't know whether it's the same publication. It is, but they're on different, they've got completely different covers. I think these are produced in Italy from what I can see. But yeah, very good publications, a lot of content. I flicked through it earlier. You can see the screen records that I'm going to put up. So as a woman of a certain age, my actual priority now is maintaining healthy skin rather than, you know, perfecting my makeup. I want to get to the stage where I wear hardly any makeup. Healthy, clear skin is my priority right now. So I wanted to see what were the latest products on the market going to this exhibition. And I, like I said, like it says in the thumbnail, I was ignorant about this industry. Clean beauty is not as clean as I thought it was. You know, I've only learned about the concept a few days ago. But let me start off by saying that this event was very professional. The exhibitors were great. You know, we spoke to a few of them. They were lovely, lovely people. Their products were great, you know, you could see they were good quality. They were mainly European brands, so you're not going to see them in this country. You're more likely to see them if you're going away on holiday, whether it's, you know, Milan, Rome, Amsterdam, Paris, you know, all those types of areas, you'll see these products. If I talk about beauty on this channel, it's going to be more like this, because I like to learn new information, and for me this was a learning day going to this event. The brewery itself is a great venue for an event like this because it's not too small and it's not too big. It was relatively intimate for the number of exhibitors that were there and the number of speakers that were there. As I expected, I knew I was going to see marketing that had non-white models on there. Not a problem. It only became an issue for me when I saw no black exhibitors. I was like, okay, but you're using black people to promote your products, but no black exhibitors. I wonder why that is, because black people don't just live in the UK. We live all across Europe. You know, you're holding an event in one of the most diverse cities on the planet, but no black exhibitors. We actually do use skincare. We actually do use makeup. That was not my intention to go and, you know, seek out who, you know, if they had any black exhibitors. All these things wouldn't have occurred to me if one of the speakers didn't come over and say what she said. Okay, it sounds a bit cryptic right now, but I'm going to explain what happens. We got there about 8:45 to the venue, and the conferences that didn't start until 9:30. So we were not waiting around. We had the exhibits to look at, and then 9:30 came. We went into the room, waiting for the speaker to come on. The first one, she was great. She was really informative, and as you could see, I asked a couple of questions. I asked those 2 questions with regard to the stem cell technology because she kept referencing that, and also the kids' makeup. With regard to the stem cell technology, from what I understand, I've heard that the most potent, the most powerful origin of stem cell matter, tissue, is from fetuses. So that's why I asked her, is the origin of this stem cell technology, is it embryonic? To which she couldn't give me an answer. She said she'd get back to me about that. I knew she wasn't going to get back to me about that because she didn't come over and ask for my email, you know, any information from me. I knew I wasn't going to get an email because for some reason, what I've realised is no one really wants to be asked that type of question. Stem cell technology is not something that they'll mention it, but they don't want you to dive too deeply into it. And I pick up more from what the person doesn't say. So that kind of told me, okay, there is a possibility that the stem cell research is going to be focused on unborn fetuses. That's what I concluded. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I just found it interesting that she didn't give me a definitive answer. And as a skincare developer that's been working in this industry for a long time, and she's working with brands using this technology, I would have expected her to know that. So that was something that, you know, immediately I saw, like, I'm not going to say red flag. It was more of a pink flag at this point. The speakers, I found some of them were very professional. The one that we saw, the final one that we saw before lunch on Wednesday, this is where she tainted the whole event. Not the whole event. This is where she tainted the event for me. So this speaker, she's UK based. She has a clinic, a skin clinic in one of the wealthiest districts in London. I'm not going to say her name. Apparently she's an award winner, and her products are top notch from what I understand. She also used stem cell technology in her products. I believe that that's where skincare is headed now. She started her presentation and she had her mentor with her there. Now, her mentor, I don't want to be horrible, I don't want to be rude, but she was not a good advert for this lady's brand. I'll just add that she was elderly. I'll leave it at that, okay? This presenter went on to say that she had had a hard life as a child. But then the paradox for me was that her mum put a particular type of crystal in her pockets, and she used to carry this around with her. And that she suffered from a skin condition, which this rock crystal proved to be a key ingredient in her skincare brand. That's what she uses in her brand today. So like, okay, not adding up, but okay, that's your story. That's fine. She continued to say that her products also include an ingredient which has the highest concentration of vitamin C found anywhere on the planet, and you can only find this in Australia. I believe it's Queensland. I'll put the information up on the screen. And she uses the land is very protected. You can't just go on there, and it's protected land. So the indigenous people have been asked to cultivate this crop, this fruit, and harvest this fruit, and this is what she uses in her products, from what I understand. So she continued and she said, and we paid them a good wage. Okay, so we now get to the stage where you now think I'm dumb. Because we all know, let's not be naive, guys. We all know when someone says good wage, and you're talking about indigenous people that live on the other side of the world, a good wage to you, I mean, it's not the same as to them. So I questioned, I wanted to sort of pin her down on what she meant by good wage, because I said it's all relative. That part wasn't filmed, but you know, some pictures were taken, and that's what I've included while I was asking her this question. So she didn't want to answer, clearly. She recapped the fact that this land that this fruit is grown on is sacred, it's protected, etc. And then when she couldn't think of anything else to say, she deferred to her mentor, who repeated the same. So I said, I understand what you're saying. My question is, if you could be specific about what you mean when you say good wage, because it's all relative. To this day, I don't even know what the good wage is. I left it at that because I was like, okay, I'm not, you're not obliged to give me an answer. But as it's a Q&A session, I'm asking the question, expecting you to be as transparent as you kind of intimate that you are. That information was not forthcoming. So I left it. She continued with the presentation, and I have to say at this stage, she was the only one who felt unsure about what she was saying. All the other presenters that we saw, they were very sure of their facts, they were very well prepared. The majority of those speakers that we saw, English is not their first language, and they were fluent, they were on it, and that's what really impressed me. But when it came to this particular speaker now, she was nervous. And I don't blame her for being nervous, but if you're so sure about your product, and if you've been telling people about this product since you've been trading for the last 7 years, this brand, why would you be nervous? It just, things were not adding up for me. She carried on with the presentation, the Q&A session after her presentation, and then as Gina and I were getting ready to go, this lady literally ran over to us, and I was like, okay, what's this now? So she came over all tentatively and said, I don't feel that I answered your question sufficiently. At this time I had, I kind of moved on from that, but when she said that, I said, no, I don't feel that you did answer my question. Actually, I just wanted to know what you consider a good wage. She still didn't answer the question, so it was pointless her coming over. I think she's one of these people that she wants everyone to like her. That's the impression Gina and I got. She just didn't want to let it go. So she was like, oh, I'm all about positivity, and I don't want you to leave here thinking that, with a negative thought about what we do, etc., etc. I was like, I haven't, I'm not going to leave with a negative thought, but I'm not convinced by what you're doing, because for some reason you just can't answer this question. My issue was that these natural ingredients, our community, we've been using things like this from time immemorial. As we are born, we are using natural oils, etc. Things from the ground, things from the trees. But someone like this lady is as far as I'm concerned, is exploiting the indigenous people of that area of Australia, repackaging and repurposing this crop to come and sell it back to someone like me at a very high price. Like, I'm ignorant of some things, but I'm not naive. I'm too old to be caught out like this. And I just found it was not intentionally, but I just found that it is like she was insulting my intelligence. She wasn't as transparent as I would have liked her to be. And that's what tainted the event for me. I'm not going to identify her because I don't want it to be a thing where I'm trying to knock her brand. In fact, when I went to her website was impressive. I'm not even joking. Her website was very, very impressive. As usual, they have the token black model there, which is okay because we live in an era now where everything is about diversity and inclusion. But don't go on to further insult my intelligence, but by trying to say or trying to mislead me in saying that these products are aimed for me when they're not. I'm not going to use your products. I'm not going to use this lady's products because you're not a good ambassador for your brand. Because if you're 11 years younger than me, why do you look 11 years older than me? And I only know she's 11 years younger than me because I saw her information online. It's in the public domain. If you're so confident that your brand works, are you actually using your products? Because frown lines were very prominent, crow's feet were very visible. And I'm stating facts. I'm not being disparaging. These are the things that I look out for. If you're going to tell me about your brand and how wonderful it is, be an advert for your own brand. This presenter also became slightly defensive because she said, oh, we should all do our bit to support one another. That's what I like to see. And then she said, what are you doing? So I said, well, I support black brands. And she kind of took a sharp intake of breath. She didn't really know what to say. Obviously I'm going to support my community. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting money back into our economy. If you're going to do what I consider, you're going to exploit, they're hundreds of thousands of miles away. I'm going to do what I can in my corner of the world to support my community. So then she, when she eventually got her breath back, I said the phrase black brands, but it's almost like she was asking permission to say the same words back to me when she was trying to continue the conversation. So she says, yes, with regard to, I'm going to say black brands because you said black brands. And I'm like, yeah, why would I be offended by that? Just say it. Yeah, black brands. And I just found it so funny. I found it really funny. And then it's like I don't know what was wrong with this lady, because she then went on to say, oh, let me give you my phone number. I don't normally do this, people, but if you have any further questions, please feel free to call me. Why do you need me to call you? I don't have any questions for you. It's not that deep. I'm not going to be buying any of your products. If you are so confident that your brand works, that your products work, for goodness sake, you've won at least one award. You have a very successful skin clinic in a wealthy area of London. I applaud you for that. Why is my opinion so important? Why do you need me to approve of what you're doing? Some of the things you're doing I don't approve, but that should not stop you. You're going to continue to be successful regardless of what I think or say. I was puzzled. I was like, this is a bit strange. This is not what I expected. But yeah, I haven't called the number because I don't need to speak to this lady. She's fine. She's fine without me, without my opinion. Before last Wednesday, she didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. Gina had heard of her, having, because they're in that industry. I didn't know who this woman was. Why should I affect her life? She doesn't affect my life. I just found it really funny. I just found it really odd. So yeah, interesting, very interesting. So there were no black speakers at this event. The majority were women. I think there were 5 men, 2 of whom were Asian and 1 was from the LGBTQ plus community, but there were no black speakers. So I was like, okay. But again, we're not seen as relevant in this space. That day for me was informative in ways that I did not anticipate. I should have expected it though. But as I say, in the 21st century, we're always told that we've moved on. Not as far as we could have moved on at this point in time. I am going to put up some stats to let you know how much we as black people spend in this industry, how much we spend on beauty and skincare. This article from the British Beauty Council states that the Black Pound Report 2022 has unveiled the untapped economic power of the UK's multi-ethnic consumer, with the health and beauty market being valued at £2.7 billion. The British Beauty Council's Value of Beauty report valued total consumer spend in the industry at £27.2 billion, meaning that a staggering 10% of consumer spending is being missed. Every month, multi-ethnic consumers are spending £230 million on health and beauty. However, nearly 4 in 10 black female shoppers state that it's not easy to find cosmetics and skincare. On average, multi-ethnic consumers spend 25% more on health and beauty products than other consumers, due in part to 22% of all multi-ethnic consumers needing to use specialist shops to purchase their health and beauty products. This increases to 30% for black women. It's billions. Why are you not recognizing that fact that our money is very strong? In one of these magazines, I'll put the screen record here. One of the organizations who are they specialize, I think it's in labeling or marketing, something like that. And I was pleased to see that one of the directors or one of the senior members of this organization is a black woman. I was pleased to see that. They're based in France, from what I remember. That was encouraging. Going to another article, I think it was in that same magazine or in a different one. I'll put the screen record up here. There was a big page of a black model for this, who's the model for this skincare brand, as you can see. So I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't seen this before. This looks brand new. Obviously, I knew it wasn't British. It had to be European. It wasn't going to be American, because this was not an American centered exhibition. It was more Eurocentric. So I thought, okay, this black model, let me see what their product is like. So I turned the page and I looked at the different shades of foundation. This black model is a darker shade than I am. I couldn't even find my shade in that selection. If I can't wear that, how is she gonna wear that? And how are you using that black model to promote this product she can't even use? Misrepresentation, misleading. And like I said, I'm quite ignorant in this particular industry, but I'm not dumb. This whole thing was an education for me, and I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went because it opened my eyes to so many things. It opened my eyes to the fact that work still needs to be done. When you're talking about diversity and inclusion, do it properly. do it properly. Don't make it be a token concept. Don't use black women as a token character or the token blackface just to promote your products, so that you now attract someone like me to look at your products, only to find out that they are not beneficial to me whatsoever. And this is why I say the tainted side of clean beauty, because that's what I saw last week. I'm a realist, guys. I'm not a pessimist. I always try to look for the positives in things, and like I said, there were a lot of positives from that event. What tainted it for me was that final speaker we saw before lunch on the Wednesday, and the subtle omissions of representation for me. If you're going to have a speaker from the LGBTQ community and you're talking about, I mean, his subject was about diversity and inclusion the following day. If you're going to have someone like that, how come you didn't have at least one black speaker? Do you know how many black people are producing successful skincare lines and they're not even included in this space? You know, even with that, I'm not going to knock it because it's Eurocentric. I'm not going to expect to see anything else other than that. But if I'm not going to expect to see that, don't entice me with your marketing where you've got black people on your marketing trying to draw me in. But you can't even have any black exhibitors or black speakers. You know, I'm not going to just ignore stuff like this, guys, because it's very important. This lady said to me, this speaker before lunch that ran over to us, she said, oh, you know, a lot of people don't find this not of interest to them. It's not important to them. I said, I know that, but it's important to me. I mean, you have the luxury of saying that because you're not a black woman. You can say that to me. You can say, you know, you have the luxury of saying to me and my friend that you've had a hard life. Okay? It's all relative. Just like the good wage that you're paying to these workers in Australia, a good wage is all relative. So yeah, you know, we have our own stuff that we need to do. And with regard to the certification, this is where the stumbling block is for a lot of our community. Because the system, you know, this system is not set up to include us. Clearly it's not. Even some of the, there were some male skincare professionals in the audience who had an issue with the certification and they needed clarification. So one of the speakers who works in this field, she went on to explain that the certification, there is a cost attached to that. So €220 per product every 2 years is what you have to pay to get a certification. Now that's not a product range, that's per product. So if you have 3 products and each of them have a different composition, so you may have lavender in one skin cream, rose water in another skin cream, and let's say orange oil in another skin cream, that's €220 per product. So that's €660 every 2 years for these 3 products to be certified. And even then, the certification is so complex. People are even asking, what certification do I need for my products? Because not all these certificates applied to me. It was very vague. And even the concept of clean beauty could not be defined because it's open to misinterpretation. But from what I gather, clean beauty is as long as it's safe on your skin and it's safe for the environment. And if it's naturally derived, which is questionable in itself because the processing, the end result is no longer natural. The product is no longer natural. As long as that is also sustainable, especially when you're talking about biodiversity, this is what I got from it. I could be completely wrong, but this is what I got from the information that I received last week. There are people way more qualified to talk about this than I am. These are just my observations and perceptions. Yeah, clean beauty is not as clean as I thought it was. You know, it's not. And yeah, there's a long way to go. I think I'm going to look into this a bit more, because it's kind of piqued my interest now. So as I conclude this video, guys, I hope you found it informative. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not your typical, I'm not a vlogger. I'm not going to be filming my everyday life, because really my everyday life is not interesting. it's not interesting, okay? When I do go out, if I feel to film it, I'll film it. But yeah, this was just another day out in London for my friend and I. It's a new experience, not in terms of exhibitions, because I've been to loads of exhibitions, but this particular one, it was a real eye-opener. And I hope you enjoyed coming along with us. I hope you gained something from my insights and what I've taken away from it. And if that is something you're interested in, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your insights. Let me know what you consider clean beauty, what your perceptions are. You guys are more qualified than I am if you're in this industry. I'm only telling you what I observed for a few hours last Wednesday. So yeah, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Have a great week, and you shall catch me in the next video.